Holy crap, I look rough. I cannot believe I'm filming a video right now looking like this, so I want to apologize in advance because y'all, I am a mess. Hey everyone, it's Kelsey and welcome back to my channel. I am super pumped because I have a brand new kind of video idea that I wanted to try out, test and see. I mentioned some of it in my last video and I don't know, I kind of just want to roll with it. So I'm going to be doing like a little upcoming series kind of, and I don't mean series like Shane Dawson. I'm doing like a series, I guess, on a vlog. Like it's going to be a vlog, but I don't want to call it like a vlog because I don't know. I don't want it to necessarily just be about like my life because that's not really what it's mostly about. I wanted to vlog my school experience and being a fashion studies major at Montclair State University. I know that as an incoming freshman, I didn't necessarily know a lot about the program in the first place, and I just didn't really know a lot about Montclair State University in general. So I decided I wanted to make this series so that y'all could know really like the lifestyle of being a commuter, or at least my life being a commuter, as well as the fashion studies program and just a bunch of things in Montclair. I don't know if any of you guys are in high school thinking about going to college really soon and you're not entirely sure where you want to go. So I figured I'd start making these vlogs, I guess, of me being at school. If I'm going to be honest with y'all, they're probably not going to be good in the beginning because one, I'm awkward as heck, and two, I feel like people on campus would so totally judge me, but like, whatever, you know? Okay, you're probably wondering why this like video isn't really vlog style. I'm actually currently in my sophomore year at Montclair State University, first semester sophomore year, so obviously y'all have missed basically the entire first year that I've been at Montclair. I was just going to tell you guys like a couple of things. Lucky! Simmer down, please. Thank you. I was just going to tell you guys a couple of things about being at Montclair and being a part of my program of study. This is probably going to be a bit longer and kind of boring. I do apologize. As far as for my first semester, which this is kind of annoying, but then again, it's kind of, I don't know, like, I guess a little bit stressless or something. I don't know if they changed this or whatnot. Obviously, I'm not a freshman anymore, but Montclair actually makes your schedule for the first semester, which is really annoying because I feel like your classes are from the last batch of like all the kids, obviously, like from the grades above you, so you kind of have like a sucky-ish kind of schedule to begin with. I had all my class, like, I don't know, I just didn't like my schedule for my first semester, but because there was a bunch of girls that were in my major, they all had the same exact schedule as I did, so those people ended up becoming my really good friends, and so that is one perk and plus of that. Obviously, you know, when you're going to school, you have your general education requirements or your gen eds, then you have your major requirements, and then you have elective courses, yada yada yada. I'll start off with your gen eds. So the first couple of classes that I ended up having to take, I had to write them down because I didn't remember them. The first couple of classes that like you have to take being an incoming freshman at Montclair is, one is New Student Seminar, which is basically just a class that tries to help you adjust to being a part of college, and you know, they talk about having a good resume, networking. The one thing that I remember was like, you should have like, college is an experience and you don't necessarily want to focus 100% on your work. You know, your grades are important, but they really want you to kind of enrich yourself in the atmosphere that like is the school. So you take what you will. That's really what I learned. It wasn't crazy hard. Obviously, it's New Student Seminar. It wasn't like terribly hard. I had a really cool professor, so I liked having her. Have a bunch of guest speakers and like all that jazz. It's just like to help you like get adjusted to school. Then another gen ed requirement that you need to take as an incoming freshman, and all freshmen take this, is college writing. Okay, so college writing will either be like the death of you, or you will, you know, you'll float by, or you're gonna be like, oh, that was so easy. So it's literally dependent on your professor, and that's probably what you're gonna hear like throughout this whole entire thing, is that like, okay, it all really depends on your professor. First semester, you have to take 2 semesters of college writing. college writing 1 in semester 1 and typically college writing 2 in semester 2. That's just like what you do. What this course tries to tell you what to do is the professors, they try to teach you how to write a paper, because coming from a bunch of different high schools, they don't necessarily know where you are on a scale of like how you write, so they try to mold you into making, like, into being good writers. My issue with this is that literally every single professor teaches this class differently. They're trying to mold you their way, but then you're going to have college writing too, and they're going to tell you a different way, and then your professors all throughout the entire time that you're at university, they're going to want you to write a different way anyway. So you really kind of just have to get a feel for how your professor wants you to write and write like them, because that's the only way that you're really going to pass, if I'm being honest. I had college writing at 8:30 in the morning, and my professor was very aggressive. I had a really hard time with college writing, and my teacher senior year, thank goodness, of high school, she was really awesome and like knew what she was doing when it came to writing a paper, and that's the only reason why I like somewhat passed this class. You have to actually go in for critiques, and like they tell you like what's good and what's bad about your writing. And the first meeting that I went into with my professor, given I was, you know, it was that time of the month and I was a little bit sensitive, but I literally was bawling my eyes out. Now I know you're probably thinking like, girl, you're literally a baby, like what the heck, you're crying over writing, but the stuff that she said to me, it really stuck to me. And she tried to be like, I don't know why you're taking it like this, but like, I'm sorry. Like, she tried to be like consoling, but that's like not how she was, so it was really awkward. But yeah, so college writing will either make you or break you, okay? Like, it could be rough. But then college writing too, which I'll talk about later on, like, you know, you have a different professor, it's time to start over. I'll talk about now the stuff that I had taken for my major. I took a religions class. I think it was world religion. I have no clue, okay? Like I said, depending on your professor will depend on if you actually learn things in your classes. No offense to my professor, really nice guy, kind of creepy if I'm being honest. He was a nice guy, he was really smart, and you could tell that he like knows what he's talking about, but he just didn't want to be there. Literally, when I tell you, I could have flipped a coin and that 50-50 chance would have told me if I should go to school or not. Like, that would have been a better way for me to know if I should go to school, because he was never there. Like, never. It was just like, I don't know. The stuff that we were learning about was interesting. Could I tell you what it is now? Hell no, that's all gone. But it was like, you know, it's okay. Another class that I had taken, and this was part of, I'm pretty sure, my major requirement, being a fashion studies major, was visual culture, which my professor, oh my goodness, he was very loony, if I'm being honest. Like, he really liked yoga, and he tried to make yoga a part of our lessons all the time. I could literally insert a video of us doing yoga like the second or third day of class. Okay, it was just so crazy and wild. But as far as the class, and this is gonna sound weird, I actually really loved my textbook. It was super interesting. I don't know, it's just this idea of like the way that you look at things. Basically, like what I got from the class, which who knows if it's like what this is about, that obviously, you know, your life is your life and you go through life differently from every single other person. Like, no one has your life. So when you look at art, pictures, movies, poems, like, you look at things through your lens, and that lens can either be the things that have impacted you in your life or what you've learned, I guess, in a like historical sense. So like, you could look at a piece and be like, oh, that's from the Great Depression, I know because of this, this, this. I don't know how to explain it. That's just, I guess, more or less what I got from the class, that kind of idea. I don't want to make it too long and boring, but like, it was pretty interesting. And another thing that I had taken was perceptual drawing, and that's just a drawing class. So if you guys don't already know, I have a pretty big art background. If you haven't seen my first video, Driving Isn't Like Mario Kart, you probably wouldn't know that. But I have a big art background, been in art classes for a really long time. So I was super excited to have an actual art class. Being a part of fashion studies, you think it's just going to be fashion, but no, you have a lot of art classes and like core art classes. So it can be kind of tough. Honestly, with my art background, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, I that's just how it was for me. Like, it was pretty easy for me. Obviously, I didn't want to take it so unserious that, like, I would kind of down myself a level, but I took it serious enough to, like, get through the class and, like, do really well. A lot of people have different experiences with perceptual drawing, dependent on your professor. Mine was really focused on portraits, so depending on how, if you like portraits or not, like, just be careful. I don't know what other people really did. We did buildings and, like, still lifes and stuff. But what I will say too is that since, if you're like me and you do have an art background, you know, like, I took AP Studio Art in high school and I ended up getting a 5 on my AP exam, so, like, I kind of know what I'm doing. Like, I think so. I think I have the right to say I kind of know what I'm doing. But for some of my friends, I know that, like, they didn't have, like, as high of an art background as I did, or they didn't have an art background at all, and so it was just, like, probably a hair bit harder for them than it was for me. It just really all depends. One thing about, like, the art school, which might be difficult in the future, like, if you're not really great at art, they don't necessarily judge you on your progression from, like, beginning to end. At first they judge you if you're good or not. So that's, like, kind of hard. So if you do end up in any kind of art major, I'm just gonna warn y'all, you might want to take, like, a couple of art classes over the summer just to get an idea of, like, what's going to be expected, if I'm being honest. But, like, it's not necessary. You'll learn. And then another class that we took was Process and Media. Process and Media was a 5-hour long class. We didn't end up staying 5 hours because everyone was just, like, so done. We left, like, probably, like, after, like, 3 or 4. We didn't stay the full 5. But my class was scheduled from 5 o'clock at night until 10 o'clock at night. Like, what? Who does that to someone? Okay? Well, anyway. Process and Media, kind of just talking about positive and negative space. If you understand art, like, you get that. Like, it's positive and negative space. We did a little bit of collage. I literally don't remember what we did. Oh, we did, like, acrylics and painting, and you could use, like, almost just about any medium that you wanted for, like, homework assignments, but then, like, other things you had to use pen and ink. That was mostly, like, what we used for the most part. And we talked about stippling, hatching, cross hatching, scumble, like, all those types of techniques that, like, if you have been in an art class, you probably know. So it can be a little bit boring, but that was also really fun too. I really liked my professor, and me and my friends, we had, like, a good time in that class, you know. That is it for my first semester. I'm gonna make a second video, probably wearing this, and just crush it out my second semester freshman year and telling you guys a little bit more about Montclair itself. So expect that to be coming up. And then obviously after that, then I'll talk about what I'm doing this semester, my first semester of sophomore year. Alrighty guys, I think that's it for this video. Who knows with me. Anyway, stick around for my upcoming videos that are going to be happening sometime soon, hopefully, you know. I wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I truly do hope that if you're thinking about fashion studies or going to Montclair State University, that this helped you out a bit. I will see you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.